Let's talk about losing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions somewhat on purpose. This is essentially how and why you should lose Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions, because the fact of the matter is, there are a bunch of factors that go into whether you win or you lose. First of all is the most important, how good you are at a baseline. So on any normal given day, the average of how good you are, if you're really good, you can miss a lot of the other factors and still be okay. Then is going to be your physicality. Overall, how strong are you? How much endurance do you have? The length of your limbs, the connection points on your tendons, everything that goes into making you physically able to perform is going to be another factor. Then is the mentality. If you have a bunch of anxieties or you throw up right before a match because you're too worried or scared, that's going to hurt you because you'll get disqualified for throwing up. On top of that, it just means you're not as prepared. This is like an abnormally large event in your mind. And now this could happen if you have pressure from yourself or others, be it coaches or teammates or whoever it may be, spouses maybe. If someone is putting unnecessary pressure on you, you may trip yourself up and think that it's a bigger deal than it actually is. So when should you lose Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitions? You should never try to lose, but you should go in with the realistic understanding that sometimes you're going to lose, especially if you're not at a peak in a training volume. So one of the reasons why I like to know in advance when I have matches is so that way I can time my training. For example, if I'm at a peak output in my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practice, meaning I'm training a bunch of days per week, I'm going to be breaking my body down more than I'm able to repair it. However, if you know about a month and a half out, you can break your body down and then slowly peak and have your physicality align with the day of the competition. So that way you're the most ready. You've mentally prepared and you're as physically prepared as you possibly can. But this takes about, I don't know, at least a couple weeks to make sure you've fully recovered. But if you can't do that, you don't have to be at your peak for every single competition. For example, if it's a local competition or there's no money on the line, there doesn't really matter if you lose. If someone pulled guard on you and you lost the ref decision, but in the grand scheme of things, you're trying to train MMA, and you were the guy who was on top and in control, and if it were an MMA match, you could have won with punches or other means. Take that as a dub. Doesn't matter if you won or lost. It just matters how you play the game. And I like to play the game to try to get better because it's fun, and that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.